Oh, hello. Take my pills. Vitamin D pills are even more important these days, eh? Since I'm not going outside pretty much at all. I'm eating plenty of fruit as well, so that should top up the rest. Not that I don't eat plenty of fruit anyway, so there's no real change in my diet. Just in my physical activity. Kenyax, who else? Sure. Anyone else? One more spot. Probably will though. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's in the top left of my screen when that is the code. It's a mystery. This is looking a bit more jumbled than it was. Wow. The pinks have started to spread out a bit. That's nice. The greys are all around the same place still. But yeah, it's starting to spread out somewhat. It's taking a lot longer than I thought to properly jumble up.
I think I've got it, old man.
Wow. That's a lot of gold borders, you're right.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
I can't wait to get started.
So our combined level is around 15,000? 16,000? Something like that. Wow. 200. Oh, even better. I got 40 right now. 39. 38. Ooh.
Attack commences.
It's probably because Sticky Dog's in the group, and Sticky Dog's a lot further away from you than I am. So, yeah. Ooh. Well, my ping's not affected, so maybe that's not the factor. Whoa, what are you doing? Not supposed to kill me. No, it's gone down a bit.
76 reporting for duty. Anyone need some healing? Reaper here.
No, not the laser beams. Less laser beams. No, why me?
essence of discovery. Hey.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
ahorita regreso.
Alright, let's go. Wow. Nice translocating. I know.
One shot, one kill.
Alright. Ah! Wow. Ow.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
What? Okay then. Just throwing myself at the enemy constantly. Ugh.
Everything can be. I might need this later.
Halo's in my possession and moving out.
60 seconds remaining.
Ooh, triple bomb. Yeah, take that, Mercy.
Let's make sure someone stays with it.
Oh.
Do you trust me? What's your language? 30 seconds remaining.
I'll just go ahead and. Whew. Take that. Oh. Ah, good job. Procrastination practice accomplished. If you want to be a professional procrastinator, you have to practice procrastinating. Yeah. Thank you.
Poser.
I wonder which job title is most similar to professional procrastinator.
Tell me how this feels.
Well, the longer you put something off, the more money you make. What? Yeah, you can join if you wish.
Build 'em up. Bingo.
I suppose some people end up procrastinating so much they end up making money off their procrastination rather than their actual thing that they were supposed to be doing in the first place. So that's possibly happened with some people that have got into content creation, right? Where they're just doing this stuff because they can't be asked to do the important things and end up succeeding at it.
Hi. Love. Easy mode.
I suppose in a way, like Overwatch has been part of that, as I played a lot at work when I was doing my IT job, because I was doing night shift, and occasionally I had stuff to do, which I did get done, but not before a few games of Overwatch, right?
Winston reporting. Back to work. Let off some steam.
Oh no.
True self, patience.
No, that's a friendly monkey. Yeah, I know.
Why is the payload stopped?
Ah, geez, too much damage.
One shot. Rude. I don't brood. My ultimate is seconds remaining. We're out of time. Attack!
How are we going to attack if we haven't got any time? Hmm.
Ash here.
10 seconds remaining.
The payload moves
No
to its
dying on my
destination.
watch.
All according to plan.
Mm.
我が敵を食らう Taking the immortality.
No. Aw.
Defeat. Play of the game.
Nerf this.
Triple kill.
MVP? So you can use this to tell if anyone just didn't die, and all of them did. So. jumping.
Traveling to
Suppose it just doesn't serve any useful purpose.
Double, triple, quadruple check your math.
Except for when it comes to abilities, but then,
attackers incoming.
you know.
Gather some
Oh, hey, Manny.
help on this mission.
Hey, Clapsy.
My ultimate is charging. This is my kind of victory.
Knock 'em out of there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Wake up.
Barrier in place.
Enemies in our orbit.
I'll need to open up the queue for anyone wishing to join that isn't here. Excuse me, Reaper, I was opening up the queue. No. It was some kind of sweet pie
Will protect the innocent.
tart thing. I don't know. I just ate it. It wasn't a pie because it didn't have a lid. More of a tart because it didn't.
Widowmaker here.
Oh, I haven't updated the queue thing. Just need to close the queue and update the.
Objective lost.
Greetings.
It's a perfect day for some
Close the queue. Right, there we go. And I'll need to update my. Oh. My button as well. You know, it's been like that since I started Mystery Heroes, and no one's commented on it, so there we go. It's not the morning now, it's 2:30. It's lunchtime. It was some kind of had strawberries in it. Just woke up. For you. You wrote Dave twice in your message there, so it's like you were saying it to me specifically. Waffles.
Play of
Nice.
the day. Double kill.
Do, do, bum, bum. Oh yeah. Yeah, things aren't returning to normal until the end of the year. Parabellum. Maybe? No. Parabellum is currently used to refer to the 9x19mm Parabellum firearms cartridge designed by George Luger and introduced in 1902 for the Luger pistol.
Hard to say who he'd been more disappointed by.
The front lines are no place.
In reference to John Wick,
I guess it's a good thing I have you my back.
Parabellum is Latin. It's the second half of a Latin phrase, si vis pacem parabellum. It's basically, if you want peace, then
Whatever
prepare
you
for
say,
war.
You're the boss.
5,
So parabellum is prepare for war.
2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Need to mess about.
Enemy contact.
Enemy turret ahead.
How's it being weird? What's it doing?
I am taking objective.
Oh no, it's a turret. Ah! Didn't do anything. Did you turn it on? You have to turn it on. It's not gonna do anything if you just don't turn it on.
One kill.
Enemy turret down.
Mercy on her. Someone called a piece of cake. Comme c'est aimable de ta
So you're getting free money? Okay.
part. C'est nous.
What's weird about that?
Enemy turret ahead.
Ow! They're trying to encourage people to play their game because they know more people are available to play their game, so they want more people to play their game and
Science will reveal
spend money on the shot cards. Because they're like, here's what you can do with this money by giving you some of the money, and then they're like, yeah, you want more, you have to buy it.
Watch out for that turret.
The amount of money they make on those shot cards is insane. And during this financial crisis caused by the pandemic, they need money too, but they can only get it at the expense of people who may or may not have enough
Everything can be hacked. And
to
everyone.
fund that kind of spending.
¿Qué tal? Translocating.
Baptiste here.
Looking for me.
Hello, goodbye.
Here.
Gale the Mahal.
Heroes never die. ¿Extrañaste? Initiating. Beacon in place. ¿Qué tal?
Kill them. Okay, one less healer. One less Orisa. So how did you know you got this money?
Ahorita regreso. Mismo
you receive an email? It's like, hey, click this link to log into your account to get free money.
Mucho mejor.
Or was it in game?
I might need this later. Initiating. Mucho mejor.
Widowmaker here.
My will.
¿Extrañaste? Apagando las luces.
Have a thingy, Bob. What's it?
Much better.
EMP. Yep. Yeah, kill him. Ooh.
Mucho mejor.
Nah.
Anna checking in.
Feeling much better.
You're gonna have to try harder than that, Walrus. Wow.
Of the dead. Surrender to my will.
I require assistance.
Oh, point
That's
blank. Point blank. Beaming.
Epic.
nice and easy.
Yeah, I did damage
Just how I
with
like it.
T's.
Hmm? Ugh. It's interesting how some people would just look at the top number and assume it's the same all the way down. It's not. It's 303, 302, and 301. Come on. What season did I start? Season 0. Although technically I didn't. I started playing in open beta. So my profile goes all the way back to season 1. But I don't have many seasons on here since I barely play comp. That kind of content does not interest me.
I wish I was in open beta.
Now entering the temple of Anubis.
Order and discipline
What you say?
is the only way to live.
Me?
What?
Attack.
Do you hear me
commences in 30 seconds.
correctly?
It's the same. It's the same people. Come on, upside down, go. It's not working. Oh.
Attack commencing. Capture objective.
Overwatch 2. Where is it, Jeff? Come on. Throw it out. Throw it out, Jeff. Excuse me. Okay, good. Corona? Don't think so. It's a bit of a throat tickle. I did go outside yesterday, but yesterday's not long enough ago to be Corona. I touched one thing that would have been touched by a lot of people, which was the handle of the cabinet, which had the milk in it, in the shop. But I touched it with my hoodie, not my hand.
Securing the point.
Just to be safe.
Second the objective. Come on up.
Because I have to be careful not to get infected myself, because Mum works at a care home where lots of old people are, and if she ends up getting it and spreading it around, then a lot of old people will die.
Die.
Which would not be good.
Turning up the heat.
No such things exist.
You need to make.
Find a site where I can do that.
Now entering the temple of Anubis.
I'm overloading.
Last minute check. Everyone squared away? Clearing the area.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Or just save spear doesn't sound work.
What? I didn't hear any words.
Is that not words?
The message was too intermittent.
5, 4, 3, 2,
What do you think you're
1.
doing?
Attackers incoming.
What do you
I'm
think?
doing I'm doing an Overwatch.
Let's get to work.
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing an Overwatch.
What do you think you're doing? I'm out of here.
Hi, out of here. I'm Dave.
What do you think you're doing?
How much a nice trumpet that.
What do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing?
Yeah, miss everyone. Don't worry about it.
What do you think you're doing?
Bingo.
They're the only. What do you think you're doing?
Bingo.
Got him. Crashed. Oh, that's sad. What are you gonna do about it?
Enemy turret ahead.
Get past this.
Shots condensed.
Rejoin! Okay.
My baby.
My baby! I work hard on that!
Stop. No one can hide from my sight.
Wait, okay, well, Clapsy could join. It's not online though, so what a shame. Oh. When we be able to be next to each other? Okay. I don't know where you are. Again?
Together we are strong.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
30 seconds.
Torbjörn, ready to burn.
They must not get past.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Whoa.
Overtime.
I will be your
Defense
shield.
point. Objective B.
That's enough out of you.
Not sure what you mean.
That's enough out of you.
Огонь по готовности.
I mean, when will this whole virus thing be over? Not until at least the end of the year, if not next year. It won't be possible to roll out a large-scale vaccine till at least a year down the line.
Огонь по готовности.
And only then can we even start to properly shut this thing down. Until then, it's just going to continue spreading. So anyone saying anything to the contrary doesn't know what they're talking about. Social distancing is something I've been doing by default my entire life, so it makes no difference to me. Yeah, if it's possible to get reinfected with it, then it becomes a much bigger problem than it already is. Because that exponentially increases the risk to individuals. So, yeah. That not only makes herd immunity impossible, but it also means, as a result,
Welcome to reality.
lockdowns and quarantines and all that kind of stuff have to last a lot longer. Essentially indefinitely until a vaccine is found and distributed. That's how long the quarantines would have to last. And the lockdowns and the business closures and all that kind of stuff. And that will do irreparable damage to the economy as a whole. Long-term damage. Many companies will not survive. Some have already failed.
We have a problem.
And it's only early days, so...
Fetch me my hammer.
What do you think you're doing?
5, 4,
What do you think you're doing?
2, 1.
It's not easy for anyone. Even the people with all the money and not a care in the world. It's still affecting them, whether they like it or not. They're just in a position where they can deal with the consequences a little better. Yeah, anyone who cares about older relatives just has to stay away. There's no good alternative. We just have to stay away. Of course, these days, because of prevalence of internet communication options, you can still keep in contact. Somewhat face to face, but not actual in person. Right? So, at least we still have that. They can still check up on people, still talk to people, still see their face. It's not in person. Because that's dangerous.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I'm shooting too low. Need to hit her in the face. Ba, 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 ba.
Everyone, stay out of my way.
Oh, itchy face. I think we're done here, right? Yeah. Watched you die. Ah! It's weird, every day now seems like a Thursday because I don't work but I do stream. But it's not, because then I come back and do the same thing again the next day. And Thursday is not that. Thursday is I don't work, do stream, and then the next day don't do either, so it's a bit weird. But the good news is I'm still getting paid. Because the government actually, you know, made it possible for that to happen. Which is very good. Your cat just tore your leg open. As in, it's bleeding. Oh. Just rinse it off and keep it clean. It'll be fine. How bad is it there? Lol. Nice Clepsy. He was too focused on me.
Destination.
3 inches. So it's quite the gash.
No dying on my watch.
She slipped trying to get off your leg. Yeah, no quality options today. Something similar happened with Boris back in the day when I was a kid. I was holding him. I just had a towel wrapped around me because I was going downstairs for a shower. So we had a shower. Specific shower room downstairs. Just with a shower basin. I was holding Boris and then I let go to put him down, and he just sort of clung on with his claws. I managed to tear
My business.
my shoulder a bit.
Rules.
Still have the scar from that. Luckily, I was going down to have a shower, so I was able to rinse it off immediately. Just keep it clean. It wasn't that bad, really. It just... I heard the tear. And, kind of stung a bit, but that's about it.
Hey. Hey.
Hey!
Hello.
Физкульт, привет.
Hey.
Re-invite? Okay.
Привет.
Let's see, I'll re-invite you.
Burn it all down.
I'm not checking in.
Hey.
Hey! Yeah, Bappa's hit scan.
Hey.
Hey! Hey, no! 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 No!
Better. Hey.
Can you hear me better now?
Maybe? I don't have a big enough sample
Well, you
size.
responded, so I'm guessing that's a yes.
Hey. Hey.
Get here.
Bird! No, you survived.
Burn it all down.
During the pace.
Oh no, he didn't like me. More than one Moira is toxic. Okay, well I got Tracer. I was just ready to get Moira there, and so it's like, oh, we got more Moira, but no, that didn't happen. There are lots of different kinds of oatmeal. You know, you can get different flavors and stuff. We can add stuff to it to make it more interesting. It is a good good breakfast. Lots of nutrients.
Death walks pathetic. My ultimate is pathetic.
Okay, good.
Primed and ready.
Pathetic.
60 seconds.
Reload's on its way.
Oh no.
Meteor strike.
Wow, I've done so well. I've got 2 elims and 7 deaths.
Imagining. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do less. I'm already doing pretty much nothing already. Wow.
We must hurry. There is no obligation.
Translocating.
10 seconds.
The battle draws to its conclusion. We must attack it.
But the da-da-dum.
Play of the game.
Yeah, I'm real bad at Doom Fist. He's gonna end up at the bottom of my rainbow rather quickly. And I'm gonna have to do a lot of quick play classic with him. So far he hasn't moved because he was so far ahead. But soon he will start moving down. Within the next few days, I would have thought. It's interesting how a lot of the oranges have stuck together. Box. Box of rubbish.
I'm working.
I'm not.
Now traveling to Busan.
This is perfect DDR.
All systems operational. Diva, ready for combat. Is this easy mode? Is this easy mode? Is this easy mode?
Push me back on here.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
I think Sombra's dance is probably the best in terms of
In terms of dance moves.
Good. In terms of yeah, looking like she's trying to play DDR.
Oh.
And then Reapers is probably the worst.
Just tapping on one arrow.
Yeah.
This is gonna work eventually.
That's like your opinion, man.
Into the iris.
The true enemy of humanity is impressive.
I'd be curious if they deliberately designed the DDR machine to line up perfectly with one of the hero's dances. Which one?
Sombra online.
I am under attack.
Apagando las luces.
Apagando las luces. Okay. Doing a mungambamba.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Immortality field destroyed.
First round lost. Score.
Dance. Do we get karaoke now?
Build 'em up,
No.
break 'em down.
No.
Bingo! What happened to your arm?
Always admired yours. Figured I'd get one of my own.
You already had 2 arms. Wow. Quality options are gone today. Gone. Gone. Twitch is like, yeah, you know, quality options? Nah. I didn't do the thing I did in the past, which was just restart it a few times just to see if I can get it back. But we'll see what happens. It's possible that Twitch are having more server problems than they did before because of the large amount of people that are now at home with nothing better to do than to either watch Twitch or stream Twitch. So, it's likely that they have to restrict quality options more than they were before the pandemic. Yeah. So, it only makes sense to roll back some of the quality on some streams over others. So lower popularity streams are likely to be shafted in terms of quality options. Having fun there, Kenyax?
Justice.
This is Amazon we're talking about. And Amazon don't become like the richest corporations in the world by being generous. They've got I've heard a lot of stories from Amazon warehouses about their horrible working conditions during this pandemic. So, and they're usually bad anyway. So, Mulsha can attest to Amazon working conditions, which didn't last long at all. So. Oh yeah, they have improved things a little bit, but still. They have to be forced to do the right thing. They never do it voluntarily, as far as I can see. They were forced to increase everyone's wage to minimum to $15 an hour minimum. They were forced to do that. You loved it. So you just couldn't deal with the working hours, or what was it? That. Hey, Artie. Law. Whee! 2 kills. That was it. Okay, Clapsy. In the Minecraft section, I want to explore that world that I created. There's a possibility there that it will be corrupt, and we might have to abandon it. But yeah, give it a good go. Yeah. So you didn't want to give it the time it needed for your body to adjust. Because one thing we need to do in that new world is look for libraries. Libraries will give us runes, and runes we can use to craft our own custom worlds. We'll need to do that many times in order to get everything we need. You would have been fired. Oh. So they didn't give you enough time to adjust, essentially. They were too harsh. Okay, Sticky Dog.
Traveling to Horizon Luna Colony.
All systems checked out. Ready for combat maneuvers.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
The thing about Amazon is they've become so big and so integral that it's not like you can just boycott Amazon, really. They're too big of part of the market in general. So even if they do real questionable stuff, there's not much you can do about it. They'll continue making money. Which is why the change has to come from top down. If anything has to be done about workers' rights when it comes to companies like Amazon, the change has to come from the government. The government has to implement pro-worker policies and enforce them. That's the only way. And yeah. And you're not going to get that with the current government you got in America. You're not going to get pro-worker stuff implemented long term. You might get a short-term increase of it because of this pandemic. But as soon as they can, they'll retract all of that, and probably more than they gave you in the first place, because that's an opportunity to strip some of that away to help the companies make more money. Because they're going to use every excuse they can to try and make the rich richer and the poor poorer, because that's what they do. Because the rich don't get richer without making poor people poorer. It just doesn't happen. Because there's only a finite amount of money.
The objective must be taken. Captain Amari, reporting for duty.
Get here.
Sure, maybe it is a bit of an oversimplification, because you get things like inflation. You get money injection, where the banks will literally just print money and put it in the economy, which doesn't help with inflation, makes things worse. But it does give a little bit of a temporary boost. Oh yeah, definitely. I think beyond a certain amount of wealth, you don't need any of it. Beyond a certain amount, you could tax it at 100%, and their personal style of living wouldn't change at all, right? There's only so much money you can spend on yourself. The rest you don't need.
I am taking the objective. Reinforce this position.
I probably, if I had to throw a number at it, just to see if it would work, I'd start with 10 million a year. That's still a lot of money, and that's probably higher than anyone would ever really need in a year, right? Way more. But think of how much difference that would make if every single cent above 10 million of someone's personal earnings went into tax. That would raise a huge amount of money for the economy, and give them the ability to implement all the kinds of policies that would actually help people, right? Public healthcare, public college, cancelling medical and school debt, investing large amounts of money into trying to fix the climate, you know, all this kind of stuff. You could raise very, very easily by taxing, putting a very, very high tax on earnings above a certain amount. No, my dad isn't rich. He earned good money working for the government for several decades. I never knew exactly what he did for his job. I never knew exactly how much money he made because he worked for the GCHQ, which stands for Government Communication Headquarters, which basically means they spy on other countries and their own citizens to figure out what's going on and keep the country safe. Right, that's basically what they did. So they had to be very secretive about everything in order to make sure the country is safe. Why would you repeat it? Okay. But yeah, he earned a good amount of money in that job, and he has a decent pension coming up when he hits a certain age, which is happening fairly soon. Since he never gave up his British citizenship, he is still entitled to that pension. So he'll have a good monthly income.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Ideally for the rest of his life. Starting soon. But just sitting on his ass. Doing nothing. Because he sat on his ass for many decades doing something. So. Yeah, I met Mum 3.
It is time to
When I met my dad again in 2018. She was there too. I insisted on it. And Dad was going to do it anyway, so it's good. Because it makes sense to do that, right?
Defend objective A.
try to keep up.
Is Mom 3 nice? I think so. On the time I spent with her, which wasn't much time, but she seemed nice enough. I was dubious, though, about their relationship. Because they went from strangers to married in only a few months. So, I wanted to make sure they were both knew what they were getting themselves in for. I tried to make sure of that when I met them. Yeah, Mum 2 was irreplaceable. In some ways, yeah. But you have to remember that people aren't one-dimensional. They haven't got just a single scale of goodness or badness, right? There's lots of different aspects of a person's personality that make them objectively better or worse than other people. And just because one person is better in one way than another doesn't mean they can't be worse in other aspects, right? And the dragon. I think she was older by... How old was Debbie? What age difference was there? Do you remember? Right.
No. Pardon me, she was 10 years older than your dad.
Right. Okay.
I was sort of between the two.
What does she want?
Munchies, but she's had 2 lots already.
Oh, so she's lying.
Yeah, she's telling me for again. The answer is no.
Ah, that immortality field though. Wow. But yeah, Mum too is 10 years older than Dad.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
76, reporting for duty.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Be scared.
Wendy, no. No, she's never known someone called Peter Pan.
Your safety is my primary concern. Go there.
Highly unlikely you'd ever guess it. Yeah, both 2 and 3 American. Moshe saw that.
Build 'em up, break 'em down.
I like how you were typing I respawn too fast as you were being murdered.
Torbjorn, ready to work.
No, not Gertrude. She's not 83, come on. I never said anything about, you know, how suitable the name Wendy was. No, not Pam. That's also like 80-year-old kind of name. Look at the names that were popular in the late 50s and you'll stand a better chance of guessing it correctly. Though I really don't know how popular her name was when she was born, so I don't know how successful that strategy would be. If you guess it, I'll tell you that you've got it right at some point.
Business, my rules.
Or if you get roaring, I'll just not say anything. But if I say you've got it right, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the last one you suggested, so... He's trying to guess the name of my mother.
Triple kill.
You have to guess the whole name. year was she born? Late 50s.
Traveling to Dorado.
I could have used a little more time to get ready.
I don't have to give you all the details.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
Look after yourself
Bum, bum.
there. I'll get us home.
我が心明鏡止水まだまだまだまだ My ultimate まだまだまだまだまだまだ
4, 3, 2, 1.
まだまだまだまだまだまだ
Ooh!
Science will reveal brilliant.
Science will reveal brilliant. Haven't you said Barbara before? Yeah, you have. You're not even keeping track of your own guesses. Predictable.
Allow me to repair the damage. We must ensure the payload's progress.
Yes.
My will made real. This will yield. Surrender to my will. The power of destruction.
Ah, get suck. You need more suck. Come back. Oh, it's fine. She's not. Oh, good. No, my dad's name isn't John.
The payload moves towards our desired outcome.
You don't know the name of my dad. You don't know the name of my mum one.
This is my will. My will made real.
So I guess you probably won't guess his name either then. Okay. No, don't be silly. That's a Muslim name.
With every death comes honor. With honor,
Islamic,
redemption.
right? It would be highly unlikely for a Christian couple or someone even in a Christian nation or a country where Christianity is a commonplace religion. It would be unlikely for them to name their son Muhammad. that is a very Islamic name, right? People who are Muslim are much more likely to name their son Muhammad, since that's the name of their prophet, right? Their main character in their religious doctrine.
Fire at will.
No. He's not.
Victory.
Victory.
Play of the game.
Don't know if it'll come up. Might do. Did you save the picture?
Welcome to Junkyard.
Let's show them what we can do. Feeling cool?
Yeah.
Let Russia never repeat the mistakes of this country.
Well, Walrus does tend to get obsessed about weird things. So.
5, 4, 3, 2.
0 results. Oof.
Alliance incoming. Stop the pain.
Oh. What is a good website is this person does not exist .com, and it will just generate a random picture that looks like an actual person but isn't.
Amari, reporting for duty.
So it's an AI that just generates a photo of a person that it just generated. They don't actually exist, but it looks like a real photo, which is quite neat. No, I didn't do that for my dad. I just think it's cool that that exists. They all look like real images, like actually real images. Ah, that one looks a bit weird.
The payload has reached.
He's got frames of glasses up the side of his head, but no actual glasses. Look at this one. It doesn't always work. Look, you can see the frames of the glasses, but no actual lenses or a frame or anything. If you look closer, you can actually see a little bit of the glasses here and here. And the other frame there. But, you know, other than that... See, this looks like a real person, yeah. Like a real photo. Just refresh it and you get a random person each time. Right. These are not real people. They just look like real people. Ow. So that's one way of getting photos of people without actually using any one photo of any one person that actually exists. So you can't get accused of using someone's picture without credit, because it is no one. So it's fine.
Feel better
Malsha and my dad live in the same state. I don't know, do they? I've talked about it before. I don't know if I went in enough detail though. Rob? What did I rob? One thing I should have done though is bring a hoodie with me for Malsha. I didn't do that. Should have done that. Should have done that. I'll get the chance again eventually. And I'm back in Morocco. For good. No. Maybe before then I'll sort it out. I don't know. Depends what happens with my financial situation. Whoa! Poof! Ah! I killed 2 people with that charge. Ah, while you tried to hide. Whoa! Are you just gonna make statements in all caps and hope they're true? Is that what you've done so far? Cats. There's a cat version called thiscatdoesnotexist.com, which generates very small pictures of cats. And sometimes they look really messed up. Yeah, that one didn't work too well. Look at this one. What? Yeah, that's a little bit of nightmare fuel right there. Alright, cool. Some of them look like normal cats, right? Others look a bit weird, right? A bit weird. I mean, what's going on here? Some of them look fine. Others, yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there either. Alright, cool. But you can mess with that if you want. This cat does not exist. .com. It's somewhat less developed than the face one, but still amusing nonetheless. And as a result, I think the AI algorithm gets a little confused because the cat photos or generations are not only dealing with the face of the cat but also the body, and the body can be in various different shapes and sizes and poses, and it gets very confused. Thanks for that follow, Loves Catter. Welcome. Ow.
Ready to march. It's a perfect day for some mayhem.
Some mayhem.
Objective lost. Dipstick, stop the payload.
Widowmaker here.
Kitty! With glowy eyes.
Enemy seen.
Turn the dipstick. Dipstick. Dipstick.
Let's get you back out.
No, my dad never held elected office. Especially not of food items. Whatever you mean by that, I don't know. Whoa!
Heroes never die.
Ooh, a dead bastion. Hey, don't do that. I'm trying to hook you. Justice reigns from I was trying to heal up. That didn't help. Error 3000. Wow. I've seen error 3000 before. Now my laptop wants me to install Windows updates. Oh. Why? Alright, sure. Why not?
It's
Ow. He's never been in Parliament. Wow. He's not as elected official. I visited Parliament before as a guest, as a visitor. I had a little tour of it. It's easy enough to do as a member of the public. If you're interested in that kind of thing, it's well worth a visit. As a member of the public, you can also sit in on Prime Minister questions. So when the two parties are sitting in the House of Commons, you can sit upstairs on the balcony and watch them bicker like school children. It's good. But I've never had the opportunity to do that myself. If you are a London resident, it's quite easy for you to do it. Whoa. Ruthless dictator. Sounds like something you'd do.
I will prove myself.
Oh! Apparently I knocked the monkey off. I don't remember doing that. Whee! Oh, you just got nitro. Nice. Animated emotes.
Dipstick. Dipstick.
That's an Irish name. My dad is not Irish. No, he's not Portuguese. Very British.
After you. Next round's on me. After you.
60 seconds remaining.
Right click.
Play of the game.
generic English name. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Let's have a look. No, that's last name. Oops. Spelt it wrong. Oops, spelt it wrong. Spelt it wrong the same day twice because my fat thumbs. Apparently it's become more popular in the United States recently. My father's name.
Traveling to Nepal. The true struggle is for the superiority of ideas.
Activating the barrier.
Yeah. Well, that's not long now. It's just this match and then more GTA.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Didn't you say you were gonna pick Bible names and then you decided, nah, I don't want to do that anymore, I guess. Because a lot of these names you're suggesting aren't. Not that I'm suggesting his is, but I'm just pointing out that you're going against what you said you'd do. I'm not saying whether it is or not. I'm just saying you said you would do that and then you didn't. So.
Imagination is the essence of discovery.
Yeah, just because he's religious though doesn't necessarily mean his parents are, or were, or wherever. And that doesn't necessarily mean they gave him a Bible name, but they could have anyway. You don't necessarily have to be religious to give your kid a Bible name. But then again, you don't have to give your kid a Bible name if you are religious. No?
Together we are strong.
Oh yeah, Crossy Raids. Crossy Raid. It's basically just Endless Runner Frogger. They got Frogger and they made an Endless Runner. That's pretty much it. Plus gave it, 3D graphics. Not a very original idea, but it was implemented very well. So. I played Crossy Road in the past. I don't have it installed on any of my devices right now, I don't think. But a fun little time waster. And they certainly made it more interesting by giving you unlockable characters that a lot of them have their own special effects on the levels as well, which make it even more interesting. So
This is my home now.
We've got 2 Orissas.
Greetings.
I like how you said 100% Jacob and then carried on guessing.
5, 4, 3,
Wow.
1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Attack the objective. Attack the objective.
Attack the objective.
I understand.
Crossy Road. I suppose in a way, if you don't know what Animal Crossing is, one of the things you might think about is Crossy Road. Because in Crossy Road, there are a lot of animals crossing the road. So you think, must be like Crossy Road ripoff. Yeah. Because if you really think about it, if you know absolutely nothing about Animal Crossing, you'll think, oh, that's a really unoriginal name for a Crossy Road ripoff. And you wouldn't be wrong. Because that would be a very unoriginal name for a Crossy Road ripoff.
Must be some reason.
Any room on the team? Yeah. Yeah. Loads, actually. Loads. But the problem is, this will be the last game before my break and before GTA, so there's not much point joining now. Yeah, Animal Crossing is quite an old series. It's been around for quite a while. I told you, you're not gonna guess it. You're not gonna guess either of my parents' names. Now you're just guessing GTA names. His dad is Dave, his mum is Dave. That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Build 'em up, break 'em down.
Well, I suppose if I'd chosen to play professional football in my life, what team would I be on? You know?
Play of the game.
Who knows? I've never been the type of person that plays games professionally or ever wants to, so couldn't tell you. Yeah, I agree, Minehart, I agree. Because if I were to play competitive, I was the type of person to play competitive, I would have also been the type of person to take it more seriously and to actually get good. So who knows where I would have ended up if I did that. Anyway, time for Breck and then time for GTA Chaos. Once again. Gustav. He's not some villain from a Disney movie, okay? Anyway, I'll be back in a few minutes.